A little bit about me, where to start. We organized 130 trucks, so 130 camione.
What are your values that you also find them in business lease?
I think that two events for me made me the man I am now. The answer is very simple for me, that is the team.
Hi, I'm very happy to restart our podcast episodes, even though this period of the year is very busy. Because of we received a lot of feedbacks and appreciation of the episodes that we did in the past, we said let's do it again. So I'm very happy to be here for the first time this year with Philip Aarsman, our managing director. Even though in the past we have used his office, this time he is our guest for the first podcast for this year. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Joanna.
Let me put you the first question, as I'm doing every time. So tell us a little bit about you.
A little bit about me, where to start. Well, as a child I was always interested how things work. I was always asking my parents and everyone, why is this and why is that? And I tried to keep that also growing older, although maybe my wife might have a different opinion. She gets sometimes crazy. But that curiosity, I think, led to the fact that after I got the responsibility of business lease in Czech Republic and Slovakia, I looked further for opportunities, and I was able to convince the shareholder of Autobink, our mother company, to open up offices in Poland, later on in Hungary, and finally also in Romania. So it also brought us something. It brought us business lease Central Europe, present in 5 countries.
So actually you were the person that put it the first stone in every country where businesses was open.
Yeah, except for Czech and Slovak, because I took that over from my predecessor.
Okay, nice. But what I wanted to look with this question was, how are you? Who you are? More than what you did, because we will go later in that part.
Yeah, well, maybe we have to then look back at things, events which happened, which formed me the person I am now. Is that something you want to know?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, I think that two events for me made me the man I am now. One happened in my early 20s. I was 21 years old. It was Christmas 1981, and it was in Poland. So in the time when martial law was announced by President Jaruzelski at that moment, because of Solidarność, you know, the party of Lech Walesa. Okay. There were a lot of protests going on, and at that time the Polish population was suffering a lot. Food shelves were empty, medicines were scarce, and that brought people in Holland to organize an aid campaign, a humanitarian aid campaign. And we organized 130 trucks, so 130 camione, transporting over 180,000 Christmas packages, because it was Christmas at that time. And these Christmas packages had food, but also medicines for the population. I was responsible, together with some colleagues, for the technical support of the convoy, and I will spare the details what I all saw there, because it was very impressive. But it showed me the first time a glance over in a country behind, for us, the Iron Curtain, because we were in the West, and we had so much freedom, and I saw there how difficult life was for people behind the Iron Curtain.
How old were you in that period?
I was 20 years old.
And what made you do this kind of activity?
Well, I was working at that moment as a mechanic for trucks. That was like a holiday job. I did that in the weekends and in the holidays. And so I got in contact with that community. Yeah. The other event what formed me was my military service. I was educated to become an officer, and then I discovered what we now call the bubble, because at that moment we didn't know that. In a bubble you meet all the same people with the same background, the same education, and then I got to know fellow soldiers with different backgrounds, different cultures, different values, and I was the one who had to lead them into action, and that formed me a lot as a manager already on an early age. So what these events brought me two things. There's more than just the Netherlands, so let's look beyond the borders. Let's also look at different cultures. You cannot just copy a proven thing just automatically one-on-one on another situation. Always look at the situation from a wide angle and prevent tunnel vision.
Yeah, so actually this is saying me a lot about how I perceive you, and I think a lot of people from this company, because I believe that you are that kind of leader that really push people to grow. You give them trust from the beginning in order to grow and to develop, and you did that not only with me, with several people from the company. So I would like to thank you from myself and also from their side, because this is the man that you are. This is the leader that I think every company should have at least one of that, in order to push people to grow and to continue the.
Well, thank you very much, but it also means that you need people with potential, and I mean not only potential from brains or from skills point of view, but also by attitude. So you need people who like to build, who like to cooperate, and like to work with people.
That brings me to another question. What are your values that you also find them in Business Lease?
Well, that's an interesting question, because as Business Lease we have defined 6 company values, and I'm sympathetic to all of them. But if you ask me what are my personal values, then I think 2 of them apply to me, and that is the first one to demonstrate mutual respect on all levels. That's one thing. And the other thing is to take responsibility for your actions. I think those 2 are very important.
Okay, and I truly believe that we see them in our company, in our people that we are working.
Yeah, it is also important. I will give you an example. When we have job interviews, at each job interview I'm at least one time present, and not so much to judge if the skill set or the knowledge of the person fits with the job, because then my people know that much better than me, but to exactly look at those values. If the person can be part of our team and reflects the same values as we are, because that's very important. That makes us a team.
Yeah. Actually, I remember one time when I came with a candidate to you, and I was really convinced that he's a right person. And after the meeting, the interview with you, I was not so sure anymore, because you put those kind of questions that made that people more like a person, more like to show the attitude, and less the skills and the his capacity to do a job. So I recognize this, and I think it's a value for us as a company to be united and on the same path.
Yeah, but that's also what you learn through the years. It brings experience. Yeah.
You told us that you founded Business Lease. So 10 years ago, because last year we celebrated 10 years of activity in Romania. What was the problem that you recognized in Romania in operational leasing market, and you was trying to solve it by bringing businesses to Romania?
Yeah, the problem, well, that's again how you look at it. A problem can also be an opportunity. What I noticed is that there were already several companies offering operational leasing for some years, but it was still relatively unknown. Because Romanians perceive leasing as a financial services, as a financial product, sorry. Yeah. And I mentioned that already. It's a service. It's about caring. It's about taking responsibility for the mobility. So the we care, that was a terminology we used very much in the early days. That was our, let's say, our credo at that moment. To make clear that operational leasing is taking care of the mobility of a company. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that this better care also brought me to that office and having the
same cars, better care.
Same cars, better care.
Yeah.
Actually, this is real true.
No.
Because we have still the same credo in our mind when we are going to meetings with the customers and they are asking us what defines you, what makes you different from the rest of the companies.
Yeah, because everyone can lease cars, but it's about how you care for them.
Business lease has grown in the last years to a double-digit value. What do you believe that are the real engine behind this growth?
Double-digit growth, not only last year, but in the last 5 years actually.
Yes.
And I'm saying that being very proud about that. But the answer is very simple for me. That is the team. That is you. That are all the colleagues. Because they have the desire to help people with their mobility. Mm-hmm. So it's the attitude, the skill set, all the things I mentioned earlier.
I have another challenging question for you.
Okay.
What is one leadership decision that felt risky at the time, but proved to be a turning point for business lease?
Oh, it's indeed an interesting question. Let me think a bit about that. Maybe it was the moment I gave at that moment, experienced professional, but still inexperienced in managing a team, the opportunity to become the new commercial director. And that decision I never regret, and you know about who this is, because after that decision you took the helm of the commercial team, and from that moment we started our double-digit growth. So risky, adventurous are sometimes the best decisions.
Yeah, thank you, Philip. I was not expecting this answer from you. Yeah, actually, I remember it was a difficult period for me. I was just starting in this new role, and it was tough and a lot of responsibility. And I really remember that you gave me your trust and support. What I actually said at the beginning to make me who I am now. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very happy that it was not a risky decision after all. It was a good decision.
Well, you know, we had to fight or defend our decision with the group, but they also gave us the trust, and they said, if you trust that it will be a good decision, we will support you also. Mm-hmm.
You know that what it says, that you take the decision with your heart and demonstrate them with your head.
Afterwards, you try to validate it with your intuition is something we also still is very important in decisions you make. Yeah.
3 words that you will describe the atmosphere within business lease.
3 words only.
Yeah. There are so many.
Yeah, so many. I think opportunity to develop.
Yep.
Because we believe that people should get, after the instructions and the responsibility they have, the opportunity to develop themselves. Because what I noticed, and that's again also what you learn through the years, is that if you let people finding out or find a way to become successful, those ways are sometimes even better than you could ever think yourself. An example of this is that many of our colleagues who are now very successful in sales or operations or in finance, started once at the reception desk as students, completely unexperienced, and see what happened to them. And that is for me a wonderful proof that basic thing works in our company.
Yeah, yeah. This is very nice to see that even though we are a small company and there are not so many layers or levels to develop yourself, we are still finding ways how to promote, support, and to grow our people.
Yeah, and what you see is often that it actually goes almost natural, because people have an affinity with sales or with finance, or they feel, they have to do all kinds of things at the reception. I mean, it's from handling the post, the keys, but also keeping Excel sheets. And some people are very good in those Excel sheets and they like that. And then you say, okay, this is actually a natural way to go to finance.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Looking back at last year, it was a tough year with all the economics and everything that changed. What would you keep? What would you improve? What would you let go? And what would you start?
Okay, what I would like to keep is the spirit of our company. What I would let go is worrying too much, because sometimes we worry too much. What would I improve? That also has to do with worrying, making quicker decisions, and sometimes bolder decisions. Sometimes you wait too much with something decision you have to make. So let's make that quicker. And what to start? Yeah, to start it now.
All of those.
Everything, start now. Don't wait too long.
Okay, how do you see this year for us, for business?
Yeah, that's a difficult question at this moment. A new year with new chances. I feel that the time, the external situation is still tough, but I also see light at the end of the tunnel. Inflation will go down. The situation with the EU, with contributions of the EU, are also getting better. I see a change in leadership, political leadership, and that should help us also as a business community. Mm-hmm. As long as we keep the dialogue between the business community and the politicians, and politicians are willing to listen also to us, because despite those politicians in the past, the economy was growing. That I think we can say. Then I feel that, and I see that there's a bright future ahead for everyone, for us, but for the whole sector.
And I will put now a question from our customers' point of view. So, what should they expect from Business Lease this year?
Well, like what they could expect every year from us, to be a reliable partner with them, who listens to what they need, and if the client is not able to express it himself, to ask the right questions, to find the expressed and hidden needs of the client, and us to prepare and offer a cooperation, a partnership which fits with the objectives the client has.
Mm-hmm. So thank you, Philip, very much for the insights. But I still have one more question for you. I was wondering, how would you like to praise yourself for the effort, energy, a lot of dedication that you put in Business Lease?
Yeah, it was and it is my life, Juana, and I like to work with people who are like you, and luckily we have a lot of those people. It's fascinating to work with young people, with bright people, with ambitious people, and that keeps the brain awake and alive. And I'm also learning every day still new things, and that's what I intend to do all my life.
Yeah, well, you remind me something, and I wanted to say to you that it's very nice that every time we do trainings, you are the most interested, but we are also interested. So the one that takes the most out of it and put in practice, is trying to put in practice, is trying to take the things that he's learning. So it's amazing. For me. It's a real example on how people will go to training and what they are becoming after the training.
Yeah, it's very nice that you say that, because indeed I love trainings. I love to learn, and I love to learn every day.
Yeah.
So there's still many years ahead for me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Philip. It was a pleasure from my side to have you here.
Pleasure
I
also.
hope you will still let us use your office. So thank you for coming and wish you good luck this year.
Thank you very much for me too. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so that was it for today. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.